Parkinson's is a complex disease and it changes dramatically and consistently over time.
Everybody eventually is going to know somebody that's been affected by this disease.
For people with Parkinson's disease, life can be overwhelming. Neuro Foundation is here to help.
Parkinson's disease is very confusing. It's a very complicated disease, so there is a very huge need in our community for people that are diagnosed to understand what it is that they have and what they can do to help themselves now and what they can do to help themselves down the line.
Based in Sarasota, Florida, Neuro Foundation is a team of volunteers and professionals dedicated to helping Parkinson patients and their families.
One of the goals of Neuro is to get people information at whatever level that they can understand it and maybe are ready for it.
Once diagnosed, patients may feel confused about what's next.
I think a lot of people will be familiar with the fact that they come and they visit their doctor and they get about 5 minutes of time with the doctor and they get their medicine and they go home. And they're left thinking, now what do I do? Where do I go from here? So we at Neuro Foundation are addressing that. That's the challenge for us, which is what do I do from here? How do I make my life the best it can be? And that goes for caregivers as well as the patients.
That's why Neuro provides one-on-one guidance, along with seminars featuring experts from around the country. Several avenues for families living with PD to get important information.
It's important because it's opening up issues that we have a tendency to neglect, or we do not know the right questions to ask, and we do not know what is out there and available to us. I think that with that knowledge, we can better arm ourselves in what's ahead of us or what we are dealing with right now, and in essence, be a better partner to our Parkinson's patient.
Neuro also connects patients with the resources available in the community in hopes of improving their quality of life.
So whether it's support groups or Tai Chi or yoga or a pool class in their area that they can participate in, we find that not only does it help physically, but emotionally. Mentally it helps for both the person with Parkinson's disease and their loved ones.
I think organizations like yours are hugely helpful for patients and in many ways. Not only informing them of what's going on, the latest work, but providing a community where they can interrelate and help each other, and also to educate.
I think that education is one of the most important things a Parkinson's patient can do, and so having a resource like a focused area in the community where you can come and have a real access to information and specialty care and people who are informed and eager to really treat and think about Parkinson's disease in its totality is important, and it's a real treasure in communities that can do it.
I think again the totality of treating is incredibly important, and to be informed about one's options, like staying healthy in spite of a disease, a devastating disease like Parkinson's disease, and also knowing how that your caregivers know as much as possible about the disease and new research is very important.
I think it's tremendously important to the community, and I think these sorts of organizations are going to become more important because people are living to be older. There's more impetus to look at how we can age more healthily. There's lots more information coming out to help us to do that. And I think one of the dangers with all of the information and having many organizations that are involved, for example, in care of people with Parkinson's, is that the information gets very fragmented. So again, in an event like this, but also through an organization like Neuro I think they can bring together multiple disciplines and really be able to help patients and their caregivers, their loved ones, have a place that they can go to for reliable and integrated information.
We're finding that it's truly helping folks. We have an enormous amount of people that are funneling through our offices here at Sarasota Memorials Institute, and so many patients that are coming through the Comprehensive Care Center that we're growing substantially. And when I started, I had no idea that it would be as make the impact that it is making, that there is this much of a need in our community.
In general, when people get information, particularly in a larger group, there's always the one-on-one patient-physician exchange of information, but in a larger group, when one feels part of a community, I think that provides an additional level of support that goes a long way in terms of helping people live and cope with Parkinson's disease.
David Harold says Neuro Challenge Foundation guided him to an exercise program that changed his life.
Now I walk around and I see these people and I know them and they know me. And I look at them and they look at me, I think, as human beings. They don't look at me as a Parkinson's, poor David. And I don't look at them that way. You know, so it's broadened my life, and I think it's given me a better perspective, and certainly it's helped me tremendously. And they're right at the core of it. There's no question about that.
There is real reason for excitement and hope, new findings.
This is a very fertile time in Parkinson's disease research.
There is reason to have hope for your Parkinson's disease because of the intense research that's being done all over the world to try to build stronger cells in the parts that are affected by Parkinson's disease. But also because care is more realistic, I think, than it was decades ago. People approach this more as an aging process where one can get help in many ways, and that it's sort of a shared journey with many people who are getting a little bit older than we used to be.
There's an unprecedented focus and investment going on today in Parkinson's disease. Of course, patients do have treatments that help them manage some of their symptoms some of the time. So we have things in the pipeline today that could help us manage some of the symptoms that we have no treatments for, such as balance and gait and cognition. Those are areas of interest and work. We are working diligently and have things already in clinical trials to better treat side effects of current medications. So the area of dyskinesias is really hot and exciting and in clinical trials. But we do not have anything today that can help us change the course of disease. So that continues to be the primary area of interest and investment. And there are some exciting areas of focus even in potential disease-modifying therapies. Of course, it takes a long time and a lot of money to develop drugs, and particularly in a complex disease like Parkinson's.
We need to work harder for a cure. We need to raise money for research, and we need to funnel that money into the kinds of projects that are going to result in a cure in our lifetime. That's absolutely doable.